Today isn't about a quick summary or a list of tips. It's about something far more meaningful, a way to see your entire life differently. Around the world, millions of people are searching for a deeper sense of purpose, a reason to wake up each day with energy and calm. And maybe, quietly, you are too. There's a single Japanese word that carries the secret to that kind of life. It isn't just a word, it's a philosophy, a direction, a way of being. The word is Ikigai. It means a reason for being, but it also means waking up each morning with peace in your heart, clarity in your mind, and gratitude in your spirit. This is not about chasing wealth, fame, or status. It's about listening to that small voice inside that whispers, "This is why I'm here." To understand this better, imagine a story. In Japan, there once lived a kind teacher, a mother and wife, who suddenly fell into a deep coma. Her family stood crying beside her bed, but her mind drifted elsewhere. She later said she found herself in a pure white space, silent and still. Then, a voice asked her, "Who are you?" "I'm a mother of 4, she replied. The voice answered, "That is what you do, not who you are." "I'm a teacher," she said. "That is your profession," said the voice. "I'm Japanese. I'm Buddhist. I'm a woman." "That is your culture, your faith, your gender, but still, who are you?" She thought deeply, realizing she had spent her whole life being everything for others, a mother, a teacher, a wife, but never asked who she was beneath those roles. At that moment, she understood. And the voice said softly, "Now that you know who you truly are, you may return." She woke up, and her life was never the same again. She began to search, not for titles, achievements, or approval, but for meaning. For her Ikigai. That is the essence of this Japanese philosophy. Ikigai is the meeting point between what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what can support your life. It's not about working harder, it's about aligning who you are with what you do. Some people find their Ikigai in helping others, some in painting, teaching, or caring for the land. It doesn't matter whether it's grand or quiet, it just has to be true. Everyone has one. The tragedy is that most of us forget to look. To begin rediscovering it, reflect on 4 questions. 1. What do you love? What makes you feel alive? What lifts your spirit? What gives you energy instead of taking it away? Maybe it's cooking, writing, repairing, helping, or simply making others smile. 2. What are you good at? Every person carries a gift, a natural ability that feels effortless. Perhaps you are calm in chaos, a good listener, a creative thinker, or simply someone who brings peace wherever you go. 3. What does the world need? Not in a global sense, but in your small circle. A kind word, a bit of guidance, some laughter, or compassion. 4. What can you be paid for? We all need stability, but Ikigai teaches that purpose and livelihood can coexist. You can serve others and still sustain yourself. When these 4 overlap, you find your Ikigai. You'll recognize it not by applause or recognition, but by peace. It's the deep satisfaction of living truthfully. There's a woman named Maria who lives in a small town in Brazil. Each morning before sunrise, she bakes fresh bread. Her shop is small, her income modest, but her heart is light. The smell of warm dough, the rhythm of her hands, the smiles of her neighbors, that's what fills her days. She's doing what she loves, what she's skilled at, what her community values, and what supports her life. That quiet balance, that joy, is her Ikigai. Now that you understand the heart of Ikigai, let's go a little deeper. The Japanese see life as a circle, a simple, beautiful pattern where all parts connect in harmony. You're not only your job, not just your dreams, skills, or responsibilities. You're the meeting point of them all. When they align, you feel whole, not busy, not lost, but quietly alive. That's the power of Ikigai. Imagine 4 circles that overlap like a soft mandala. Each represents a question. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what can sustain you. In the center, where all 4 meet, lives your Ikigai. The first circle is what you love, your passion. It's that activity that fills you with energy instead of draining it, where time disappears and joy replaces effort. You don't have to force yourself to do it because it already feels like part of who you are. But passion alone isn't enough. Love without structure can fade or frustrate. Many artists or dreamers feel joy but struggle when their passion has no direction or stability. The second circle is what you're good at, your profession. This is where skill meets dedication. It's what you've practiced, studied, or simply grown into over the years. Maybe you're a builder, a teacher, a healer, or a designer, something you do well, something others notice. But sometimes, people succeed at things they don't love, and that leaves them feeling empty. Skill without heart can turn life into a slow routine. The third circle is what the world needs, your mission. This is where you step beyond yourself. It's not about saving the planet. It's about adding goodness where you are, making something a little better because you existed. A mission gives your days meaning, especially when life feels uncertain. It turns ordinary work into service, and service into peace. Yet even this can feel heavy if it doesn't support your own life. The fourth circle is what you can be paid for, your vocation. It's not greed, it's balance. Stability gives you space to keep serving others. It means being able to care for your needs and your families, so that your purpose doesn't become a burden. Without this, even the most noble mission can turn into exhaustion or worry. Now, when these four merge, love, skill, service, and livelihood, something magical happens. You find the calm center where life makes sense. You're not just existing, you're living with meaning. You wake up knowing that what you do matters, to yourself, to others, and to the world. To understand this, think of David, a 45-year-old chef in Italy. As a boy, he would watch his grandmother roll pasta by hand every Sunday. He loved the rhythm of it, the warmth, the smell, the laughter. That was his passion. Years later, he became a skilled cook. That was his profession. But his heart wanted more than profit, so he began teaching local children how to cook, giving them hope and skill. That became his mission. His classes and small restaurants support his family comfortably, his vocation. Now, every day, David wakes before dawn, cooks with joy, teaches with care, and lives with peace. He found the center of his circle, his Ikigai. Most people, sadly, spend their lives in only one corner of this circle. Some chase passion but struggle with money. Some have good jobs but feel lifeless. Some serve others but forget themselves. Others make a living but lose their sense of meaning. The secret of Ikigai is living in the middle, where heart, mind, and purpose meet. That's why, in Japan, even the elders in their 90s rise early to garden, cook, paint, sing, or share wisdom. They don't do it because they must. They do it because they want to. They've found their reason to live. Ikigai isn't just a concept. It's a mirror, showing you who you truly are when everything else falls away. So how do you actually find your Ikigai? It sounds simple in words, but discovering it is a journey, quiet, patient, and deeply personal. It's not something you figure out in a single day or through a single question. You uncover it slowly, like a path revealed by the morning light. Here's how that path begins. First, remember your childhood joy. Before the world told you who to be, before fear or pressure crept in, what did you love doing? Maybe you drew pictures, told stories, helped people, explored nature, built small things, or made others laugh. Those early sparks often hold clues to what still brings you peace. Even if the activity changes, the feeling behind it remains the same. That feeling is the heartbeat of your Ikigai. Next, notice what makes you forget time. There are moments when hours feel like minutes, when you're fully absorbed, alive, and free. Psychologists call it flow, and it's one of the truest signs of purpose. Ask yourself, when do you lose track of time? When do you feel naturally focused and complete? It could be while cooking, teaching, fixing, writing, designing, or even caring for someone. Flow is your soul's way of saying, "This is where I belong." Then, listen to what others see in you. Sometimes the world reflects your gifts before you can see them. What do people thank you for? What comes easily to you but feels difficult for others? Maybe you give comfort, clarity, laughter, or hope. Those aren't small things. They're your natural ways of giving back. Ikigai often hides in what feels effortless. Fourth, explore instead of deciding. Don't expect to find your purpose by thinking too much. You find it by moving. Try new things. Volunteer, take a class, start a side project, help a friend, plant something, create something. Notice what lights you up and what drains you. Discovery comes through doing, not waiting for the perfect plan. And finally, don't wait for the right moment. Start now, however small. Your Ikigai won't arrive as a thunderbolt. It will whisper through small, consistent acts. Even 10 minutes a day spent doing something you love can shift your whole life. You don't have to quit everything or make dramatic changes. Begin where you are, with what you have, and let meaning grow naturally. Consider the story of Aisha, a young woman from Kenya. She worked at a hotel front desk, earning enough to live but feeling empty inside. One day, a guest asked her to recommend a walking tour of the city. Instead of pointing to a brochure, she smiled and said, "I'll show you myself." She guided him through the markets, told stories, introduced local artists, and shared food. By the end of the day, the guest said, "You should do this for a living." Something inside her shifted. Aisha began organizing weekend tours, simple, joyful experiences that celebrated her city. She made extra income, met new people, and finally felt alive again. That spark, that joy, was her Ikigai. And it started with one small decision to say yes. Finding your Ikigai rarely happens in a grand moment of revelation. It's a quiet realization, a feeling that says, "This is what I was meant to do." And once you sense it, life changes. You may not earn more, or work less, or be praised by others. But you'll feel lighter. You'll stop wondering what the point of it all is. Because now you'll know. Your purpose doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be honest. The smallest act done with meaning is stronger than a lifetime spent in confusion. Start small, stay curious, and keep walking. Your Ikigai is not somewhere far away. It's quietly waiting where your joy and effort meet. Once you understand Ikigai, you begin to see that it's not only about purpose, it's also about how to live longer and happier. In Japan, especially in the island of Okinawa, many people live well into their 90s and beyond 100. They don't rely on luck or medicine. Their longevity comes from the way they live, their rhythm, relationships, and mindset. The first secret is a mindful relationship with food. In Okinawa, people follow a simple rule called hara hachibu, eat until you are 80% full. They eat slowly, with gratitude, stopping before they feel heavy. Meals are colorful, light, and balanced. Vegetables, tofu, sweet potatoes, miso soup, seaweed, and small portions of fish or rice. They don't count calories. They honor food as nourishment, not distraction. For them, eating is a quiet ritual of respect. In most places, people eat until they can't anymore. In Okinawa, they eat until they feel just right. This small habit keeps the body strong and the heart calm. The second secret is movement, gentle, daily, and joyful. While many in modern cities sit for most of their day, the elders of Okinawa keep moving, even in their 90s. They garden, sweep, stretch, cook, and walk. Every act is movement. Even the way their homes are designed helps them stay active. They sit on the floor, so they stand and bend often. They don't force themselves to exercise. They simply live in motion. That's why their bodies stay flexible, their balance steady, and their hearts open to each day. The third secret is strong community and connection. In Okinawa, friendship is sacred. People belong to small, lifelong groups called moai, circles of friends who share life's joys and struggles together. They meet regularly for tea, laughter, and stories. They celebrate together and support one another through illness, loss, or loneliness. In this world of constant noise and online distance, Okinawans remind us that real happiness grows from real connection. When you belong to a group that truly cares, you never feel alone, and your heart stays young. The fourth secret is a purpose that never retires. In many cultures, people dream of retirement, a time to finally rest. But in Okinawa, there's no word that means retire in the sense of stopping completely. Even in their hundreds, people keep doing what they love: tending gardens, teaching, fishing, crafting, playing music. They may slow down, but they never stop having a reason to wake up. When your heart has purpose, your body keeps moving. That is the quiet strength of Ikigai. It doesn't fade with age, it deepens. Take the story of Mr. Kameda, a man over 100 years old. Every morning he rises with the sun, stretches his arms, tends his flowers, checks his vegetables, and calls his friends to ask how they are. He drinks green tea, laughs often, and goes to bed with gratitude. When asked about death, he smiles and says, "I don't know when I'll die, but I know I'll live until the very last day." That's the heart of Ikigai, not living forever, but living fully for as long as life allows. So what can we learn from them? Don't rush. Eat with awareness. Move naturally. Keep friends close. Never stop learning or giving. Don't retire from life. Retire from hurry, from fear, from pretending. The Okinawan secret isn't magic. It's a choice to live each day with gentle purpose. When your body is nourished, your mind connected, and your soul in motion, time feels slower, lighter, kinder. That is longevity, not measured by years, but by the joy you feel while you are here. There's a quiet truth that most people avoid. Retiring too early can sometimes shorten life, not extend it. Many dream of the day they'll finally stop working, imagining rest, comfort, and freedom. Yet for countless people, once the routine ends, so does the sense of purpose. Days grow longer, lonelier, emptier. Without something to create, connect, or care for, even the healthiest body begins to fade. We were not designed to do nothing. We are made to move, to build, to share, to grow. Ikigai teaches that work itself isn't the enemy. Meaningless work is. You don't need to cling to an exhausting job forever, but you should never retire from purpose. Whether you're 25 or 85, there's always something that keeps your heart awake. Take the story of Tomoko, an 87-year-old woman from Japan. For 60 years she worked as a seamstress, making clothes with quiet skill. When she retired, she thought she wanted rest. But after a year of doing nothing, she began to feel anxious and tired. One morning, she noticed her old sewing machine covered in dust. She cleaned it, sat down, and began to sew again. Small pouches, napkins, and handkerchiefs. She gave them away at the local market. People loved them, and more importantly, she felt alive again. "When I sew," she said, "my hands remember, my heart relaxes, and my mind feels young." Tomoko didn't return to a job, she returned to her Ikigai. This is the secret many miss. You don't have to earn money to have meaning. You just have to keep doing something that makes you feel useful and alive. Whether it's teaching, fixing, planting, painting, or helping, purpose is the medicine that keeps the soul young. The world often tells us to chase comfort, to slow down, to save energy for later. But the truth is, meaning gives you more energy than rest ever could. The more you live with purpose, the more strength you find within yourself. Even a small act of creation, a single moment of kindness, can change how you feel about your day. The lesson is simple: don't retire from life. You can rest, of course, but rest with intention, not emptiness. When you stop having a reason to wake up, your body begins to listen to that silence. But when you continue creating, serving, or learning, even for 10 minutes a day, life continues to respond. So, keep your hands busy, your mind curious, and your heart involved. Ikigai isn't about working harder, it's about working meaningfully. It's what makes you feel seen by the world and connected to something greater than yourself. Each time you contribute, even in a small way, you remind yourself, I still matter. And that simple realization, that your life still has value, is what keeps people healthy, hopeful, and deeply alive. You don't have to wait for another chapter to begin living again. You're already in it. Let your Ikigai be the thread that ties your days together, the reason you keep showing up, one moment, one creation, one breath at a time. There's a beautiful concept within Ikigai that can transform even the simplest day. It's called flow, a state where your attention, heart, and action become one. In flow, time disappears. You forget your phone, your worries, and even yourself. You are completely present, completely alive. Flow doesn't come from chasing big dreams or rewards. It's found in full attention to the moment you're in. Whether you're painting, cooking, fixing something, or even washing dishes, flow turns ordinary tasks into moments of peace. It's not about what you're doing, it's about how you're doing it. When you enter flow, stress dissolves. The mind quiets, and life feels simple again. You realize that purpose isn't only in grand achievements, but in the quiet joy of doing one thing with your whole heart. Think of Kenji, a craftsman in a small Japanese town. Every day, he makes wooden spoons by hand. No machines, no rush, just wood, tools, and patience. When asked if he ever grows bored making the same thing, he smiles and says, "I'm not making spoons. I'm shaping peace." For him, the act itself is a form of meditation. Hours pass unnoticed, yet he ends the day lighter, calmer, fulfilled. That is the essence of flow. So, how can you invite that feeling into your own life? Start small. Choose one simple task, something you often do automatically. Turn off distractions. Give it your full presence. If you're cooking, feel the texture of the ingredients. If you're cleaning, notice the rhythm of your movements. If you're writing, let the words flow without judgment. Forget the result. Enjoy the process. Modern life constantly pulls us toward distraction, screens, deadlines, noise. But Ikigai calls us back to ourselves. It reminds us that peace isn't somewhere far away. It's hidden inside ordinary moments we usually rush through. You don't need a new job or a new country to feel alive. You just need to return your attention to what's already in front of you. The secret is not doing more. It's doing what you do with presence. When you give your full attention to something small, you begin to feel time expand. Life becomes lighter, calmer, and more meaningful. Flow is also the bridge between passion and purpose. It's how your Ikigai shows up in daily life. You might not always feel inspired, but if you show up and give your focus fully, meaning will follow. The more often you enter that state, the more naturally your purpose will guide your actions. If you've been feeling lost, tired, or disconnected, don't search for escape, search for flow. Focus on something that absorbs you completely, even for a few minutes a day. That's where your energy returns. That's where your mind quiets. That's where Ikigai grows roots in your everyday routine. So next time you feel the weight of hurry or distraction, pause. Breathe. Give your full attention to something small. Watch how peace begins to reappear, not as an idea, but as a living experience. When your heart and your hands move together in harmony, that's not just productivity, that's life itself speaking through you. Now that you've walked through the heart of Ikigai, you might realize it's less about discovery and more about remembering. It's a return to what was always inside you, the small truths that make life worth living. The people of Okinawa live by quiet principles passed from one generation to the next, not as rules but as rhythms of being. They begin with slowness. Life today moves fast, but peace lives in stillness. Walk slower, eat slower, breathe slower. When you slow down, you notice details again, the warmth of tea, the sound of wind, the smile of a stranger. Life doesn't need to be chased, it only needs to be felt. They surround themselves with good friends. Not hundreds of contacts, but a small circle of people who share laughter, tears, and truth. Friendship in Japan is not a pastime, it's medicine. It keeps the heart soft and the spirit young. They move their bodies not to impress, but to live with strength. Movement doesn't mean gym sessions or strict routines. It's stretching, sweeping, tending a garden, walking to meet a friend. The body is the home of the soul. When you care for it gently, it rewards you with energy and grace. They reconnect with nature. Modern cities build walls between people and the earth, but nature is where humans heal. The Japanese walk under trees, touch water, feel the soil. The sound of rain or the sight of mountains is a reminder that we belong to something larger than ourselves. They live with gratitude. Every meal, every morning, every person is a gift. Gratitude isn't words, it's awareness. Saying thank you silently to the day transforms even ordinary moments into blessings. And they stay present. They don't chase tomorrow or relive yesterday. They give full attention to what is in front of them, cooking, speaking, cleaning, creating, one thing at a time, with one open heart. All of these together form the daily practice of Ikigai. You don't need to be rich, wise, or young to live this way. You only need awareness, kindness, and consistency. The elders of Okinawa say, don't worry too much. Always have something to do. Keep learning. Talk to people. Do something that makes you feel useful. They don't speak of motivation or goals. They speak of presence. That's why, even at 100 years old, they still sing, garden, paint, or tell stories. Life remains bright because they never stop giving themselves to it. And through it all, they laugh. They laugh often, at themselves and with each other. They understand that joy is not a luxury, it's nourishment. Laughter heals the body, strengthens relationships, and keeps the soul light. It doesn't erase pain, but it makes space for hope to live beside it. As one elder said, we laugh not because life is easy, but because it is hard. When you understand this, you begin to see that Ikigai isn't a goal you chase or a finish line you cross. It's the quiet reason you open your eyes in the morning. It's the peace that comes from knowing your life touches others, even in small ways. You don't need to move to Japan, change careers, or wait for permission. You simply need to live truthfully, doing something you love, that you're good at, that helps others, and that sustains your life. You already carry your Ikigai inside you. It might be hidden under fear or routine, but it's there, waiting for your attention. You can begin today, with one step, one act of kindness, one breath of gratitude. You are not broken. You are simply beginning again. So breathe deeply. Slow down. Smile at the morning. Keep creating, sharing, and loving in your own way. Because you were not born to be lost. You were born to live with Ikigai.